Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. So, I want I want to talk a little bit about Makayla Timpson. Yes, I know. I know. I just did a video. I've probably done two videos about her recently, but I wanted to tie this in really to the larger picture of the WNBA and its success or lack thereof. Now, we've talked in the past about the product itself and how that is a problem, and all the stuff about what makes Caitlin Clark different and special and entertaining and all of that, and why people tune in. And ultimately, that is going to have to be improved, but that's something that takes a lot of time. I've talked about how it's going to be the girls growing up now who've watched Caitlin Clark and try to emulate her in their game as they're playing, and then they get older and they enter the league and it changes everything. And I know I just sort of rattled through that, but I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that. Just a refresher for those who don't remember or haven't checked out those other videos where I talked about that. But as we know, there is a lot more to it than just the product. Ultimately, the league will win or survive or fail based on the product itself. However, especially when you're struggling, the players, the salespeople of the product, also have to do a great job of selling themselves. And shout out to going way back to when they started in the 80s, but even still today in the way they behave in terms of the fans. Shout out to the U.S. women's national soccer team. They've been phenomenal. They have always understood this. They have been great with their fans. They interact every chance they get. They're supportive of their fans who are supportive of them. They understand what they mean to the game, to their ability to play, to the growth of the sport in general, and on and on. And they've done a fantastic job. And the WNBA has done the exact opposite. They've done the exact opposite. They've been very, very unlikable as we've seen the past year. And that's not fair to, I shouldn't, not all of them, but way too many of them. And I think part of it is there's a sense of entitlement because they've never had to sell themselves to sell the league because the NBA has always funded them. Now, why I put in the title, A Star is Born, and we're talking about Makayla Timpson. So we've got a few things going on here. We've got, of course, Caitlin Clark and the Caitlin Clark effect, getting Makayla Timpson on this team, and now she has a ton of new fans that she's won over very quickly because of, yes, one, the way she plays. People like what they've seen, and people have loved what they've seen in terms of her attitude. They love what they've seen in the little bit of the press conference stuff she is and how she answers questions. She is likable. So you've got the product, you've got the players who produce the product being likable, and that is your simple formula for success, which is why I wanted to bring this up because it is very, very simple. This is Makayla Timpson. Unfortunately, this is kind of rough because Yvonne Ejim was supposed to be here with her for this, and she was waived. So this is Makayla on her own meeting fans, and I just wanted to play this short clip and how she dealt with this particular fan who was absolutely thrilled to meet Makayla Timpson. I'm gonna get it. I don't know why it didn't play. Here we go.
Yep, I got you. Thank you. Thank you. My bracelet. There you go. Of course. There's a sign off for you as well. I love my bracelet. Good to see you. What's your name? Billy. Yep, I got you.
So this
What's your
was
name?
for me a great interaction. If you noticed, you had a couple things going on here. It sounds like the young lady got Makayla Timpson a bracelet, but Makayla Timpson went the extra mile, and it seems like such a little thing, but you don't get nearly enough of this with athletes and celebrities. They certainly haven't seen it with the WNBA. This is the type of stuff I've seen again with the U.S. women's national team in soccer. And then she asks her name, and she's talking to her a little bit. For those of you that ever gone to signings or this and that, you get your celebrities or athletes or whatever. Maybe they're signing autographs and they're even getting money for each one signing a picture, and they never even look up. right? And there's too much of that in the WNBA. And here you have Makayla Timpson, this young lady will never forget this experience, right? It's simple little things like this that are going to help grow the league. It's simple little things like this that are going to help Makayla Timpson grow her own brand. Although, from everything I see, I mean, I don't think that's what's, running through her mind right there at all. I think that's part of who she is. But this is, again, the type of stuff that the WNBA needs to get hold of and say, hey, look, we've got to change some things in terms of how we interact with the fans. We've got to change some things in terms of how we answer questions from the press, how we act in post-game press conferences, how we handle ourselves on social media. All of it, all of it needs to change. And this, for me, is a great example from Makayla Timpson of how you do that, right? This young lady has already basically gathered, won over, however you want to put it, all of the Caitlin Clark fans. They're all in Makayla Timpson's corner. They all want to see her make the team. They all want to see her succeed on the court. They all like this young lady. And it happened very quickly. And what's crazy is she basically was not your typical WNBA player. That is about all that it took for that to happen. And of course, she is a beast on the court. I love her athleticism. I love the way she plays defense. And I want to play you a short clip of something else. And this might seem a little weird because I'm going to play you Tom Cruise. Okay, but this is a clip of Tom Cruise because, as you know, he's got the final Mission Impossible movie coming out in what, a couple of weeks. Okay, and so this is just a short clip. I want to have you listen to what Tom Cruise says here in talking about the opening of the movie.
Hi, everyone. On May 22nd, I'm coming to the great state of Texas, and I'll be visiting Fort Sam Houston and San Antonio before stopping by some theaters to see you at some of the first screenings of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Then we're going to fly to Dallas, where I'm going to get some delicious barbecue before going to more theaters to say hello, and I can't wait. We'll see you at the movies.
There you go. And now keep this in mind. This is why I wanted to play this because this is, yes, this equates to the WNBA. Tom Cruise is what, 60? And he is what, like maybe the only star, the only, you know, A-lister in the only, yeah, I want to say star in Hollywood right now, right? There are a lot of well-known actors and actresses and A-listers and all that, but like Tom Cruise is a cut above. And he's got more money than he could ever spend the rest of his life, no matter what he wants to do. I'm sure being Tom Cruise, if he wanted to do a movie and he said, hey, you know what? I am not doing any promo for this movie. I'm not going on these silly shows. I'm not doing a press tour. I'm not answering questions. And people would be like, well, we've got Tom Cruise in our movie. That's fine. Let's just, yeah, sign it. We're not going to make him do anything. And instead, he goes above and beyond and does things like this. I mean, there were promos for what? This is like the second of the two-part, right? What they call the first one, the Dead Reckoning, right? And he was doing the promos with all, going off the plane, but he was going places as well. Excuse me. And so it's just I wanted to play that because it's just a great example of the contrast between what others do and what we've seen from the WNBA. And final shout out to Makayla Timpson for how she handled herself with this young lady. Again, that young lady is never going to forget this experience. Something that I've been told a lot, something I tried to work on in coaching. This is the last thing I'll leave you with. I know people like talking about this other stuff as a coach, and I remember this, and I forget who first said it. I've seen it a lot. I don't know who to credit as the original. My dad would tell me this a lot. People will forget what you've done for them or what you've said to them. They will never forget how you make them feel. That was a great example by Makayla Timpson. Kudos to her. Shout out to her. Fantastic. Love to see it. She is going to deserve everything she gets in terms of her support from the fans and so forth, which is absolutely awesome. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts again on this down below, not just Makayla Timpson, but the league in general and their approach to stuff like this. We are less than 100 subs away from 12,000. I'm going to leave it there. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you later. Go have the day you deserve.